69 cards.
Close.
You know, maybe 67 cards, somewhere in there. All right. We are underway here at Grand Prix Salt Lake City. It's the finals. We started with 1,136 players. We have cast all of them aside except for 2 players left standing. Shahar Shenhar playing Blue-White Delver and Michael Peterson playing Blue-White Delver. I'm Brian David Marshall. I'm here with Ben Swartz, and we are looking at Michael Peterson right there as they shuffle up for the final match of this standard Grand Prix.
Michael Peterson starts things off with Island. No turn 1 play for him.
So Michael Peterson was the 5 seed coming into the top 8. Shahar Shenhar was the 7 seed. So that means Michael Peterson automatically wins the roll.
And Shahar casts Gataxian Probe, a card that Michael Peterson doesn't have, showing Vapor Snag, Snapcaster Mage, Thought Scour, Rune Chanter's Pike, Mana Leak, and Gut Shot. Shahar falling to 18 thanks to doing that.
Don't have a second land here, though, right?
No. Interesting keeping. He's got Thought Scour at end of turn, so he's got 2 chances to draw land. Or a Ponder, or I guess it doesn't have Gataxian Probe, another Thought Scour, but Shahar's going to draw a card.
I mean, how crucial is that Gut Shot?
I mean, it's pretty crucial if Shahar's got a turn 1 Delver. But Shahar's not going to play a turn 1 Delver now, right?
Which is why
He's going to play turn 1 Ponder, yeah. Yep. So Ponder allows Shahar to draw another land, a Moorland Haunt in this case, and pass it back. And Thought Scour is going to be used by Michael Peterson at the end of the turn.
We can't see which cards he flipped, but he did draw a Seachrome Coast.
And a Mutagenic Growth for his turn. So Peterson looks like milled Moorland Haunt and Ponder. Passes the turn back with 2 mana up, Mana Leak. Shahar knows about that Mana Leak, though. So Shahar's going to go ahead and try to play an Invisible Stalker. I'm sure that's going to get Mana Leaked.
Yep.
And allows Michael Peterson to go to his third turn, somewhat unmolested.
Well, you see a little turf war there between the judges and the players as they try to arrange their cards in a way that they're comfortable with. That is also something that is visible on camera.
A second Rune Chanter's Pike drawn for Michael Peterson, no third land. So Shahar is going to have sort of a mana advantage here. He's going to be able to get Gataxian Probe, see what he's drawn, the Mutagenic Growth.
Brett Gibbs.
This is the main card, and then I think Shahar's got a Geist of St. Traft that he's going to be able to cast here in his turn 3. I mean, he's already taken 4, though, from his own Gataxian Probes.
Yeah, but we've seen him be pretty aggressive with his own life total here.
Yep.
I mean, and you have to be, if you're going to be playing Gataxian Probe, you have to be willing to,
go really aggressive with Gataxian Probe. And here he plays Geist of St. Traft. Let's see what Michael has for Shahar. Snapcaster Mage. Flashing back Ponder. Cast Ponder. I mean, he got his 3rd land, Michael. He's looking maybe for his 4th land and a business spell. Sees Delver, Geist of St. Traft, and I believe Thought Scour. Looks like he's going to put that Geist on top, so next turn he'll be able to Legend Rule Geist. No, if Shahar doesn't attack, then he'll be able to Legend Rule it. But Shahar's likely maybe going to attack. Have the Snapcaster block. Plays second Geist of St. Traft.
Yep. Exactly how it works out. He takes 4. They trade. Now he's got a clear window, he believes, to play his Geist of St. Traft on his turn. But it looks like Shahar has the second one.
Yeah, so that Geist of St. Traft that Michael just drew is going to have to be used to destroy Shahar's Geist of St. Traft. Yep, Geist of St. Traft kills Geist of St. Traft. Michael passes it back, stuck on 3 lands. Shahar at end of turn uses Thought Scour to mill Invisible Stalker, Seachrome Coast, draw a Mana Leak. That's going to be really important. And a Snapcaster naturally for the turn. So Shahar taking his time, thinking through his decisions. He has a 3rd Geist of St. Traft in his hand. Wow. All of these Geist of St. Trafts.
Thinking about digging for cards with his Snapcaster Mage. Ultimately decides, you know what, I'm going to say no.
Looks like, yeah, he's going to say go, or is he still thinking?
Yes. Oh, they're trying to figure out if Shahar drew for his turn.
I didn't see. I can look at his hand maybe and decide. He drew that Mana Leak off the Thought Scour. But I'm not sure. I'm sure the judges are trying to figure that out right now.
It's tough to reconstruct with these decks. We have a lot of velocity.
For sure. Judge counting up the cards,
Players in booster direct. Number 15.
subtracting the extra cards from Thought Scour and Ponder and Snapcaster and
Please
Ponder.
come to public event stage. Your draft is about to start.
I know that he drew Mana Leak for Thought Scour.
Yeah, he drew the Mana Leak and then he drew Snapcaster.
I
don't remember
sure.
specifically.
I remember the Mana Leak though, because I remember that being important. I remember you mentioning it. Wow. Sorry for this little delay. Trying to figure this out. Judge. Okay.
Yep.
Looks like that Snapcaster is drawn. Thanks to our producer Nate Price for paying attention. So yeah, Geist of St. Traft for Shahar. And he's going to pass the turn with Island Up. Michael already knows it's on the top of his deck, Delver of Secrets.
Crystal Porto, please come up to the side event stage. Your
So he
draft
can
is
play
about
that
to
here,
start.
but play that here maybe equip with Runechanter's Pike. Can't quite see how big Runechanter's Pike will be. I think it's a +2/+0. Is that what he wants his answer to Geist of St. Traft to be?
I mean, he wants some answer, right? Why wouldn't he?
Okay. Leaves him really open to like a Vapor Snag or
Sure.
something. Sort of War and Peace drawn for Shahar to go along with a Batterskull and Snapcaster Mage, Mana Leak in his hand. So he's going to cast Snapcaster Mage, Flashback, Ponder, maybe go looking for that a gut shot off the top. That's going to be what he's going to take. Does he want to Ponder first, though, is the question?
I'll put the Ponder on top, Ponder into Gut Shot.
Right. Get one card deeper this turn.
It looks like exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah. Velocity is a really important thing, as you mentioned, with these Delver decks. So there he goes. He gets one card deeper, looks at a couple Moorland Haunts. He's able to Gut Shot away the Delver of Secrets. And that's going to
And
get
Mutagenic
Mutagenic Growth. Jeez.
Please raise your hand.
What a blowout. So Shahar's just got to pass the turn here. And that Mutagenic Growth puts another instant into the graveyard to make Delver of Secrets even bigger. Here, unfortunately, though, for Michael, did not reveal an instant sorcery, but he does have a second Runechanter's Pike.
Here's a Runechanter's Pike for his offhand.
So a Gut Shot takes out Snapcaster Mage. So Runechanter's Pike is 4, so 8, 9.
Yep. Shahar falls to 5.
Yeah. Shahar, I guess, just does not want to block here. He thinks he can still out aggro Michael Peterson.
I think he's holding a Snapcaster Mage, so he can still Gut Shot that
Okay.
Snapcaster.
And Mike only has one Mutagenic Growth, so he can't get blown out again.
Goes to 3 in doing so. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a bad idea.
So, players are counting their cards again, double checking. And Shahar's thinking about what he can do here.
Doesn't he just kill the... Is Shahar confused about whether or not he drew again?
Okay. Keep stopping me. When I'm...
Yeah, he didn't draw, right?
Right, no, he didn't draw.
Two
We
more
knew
on top.
exactly what was on top
Yeah.
there. Peterson was...
So Shahar will play that Moorland Haunt, attacking presumably for 6 with his Geist of St. Traft.
How many cards? 2.
I guess maybe he's also considering sorting up here. He can't do both.
I mean, if he swords up, I don't...
No, he can't.
Yeah.
He can't. There's no...
He needs to cast Snapcaster Gut Shot. But he's now probably considering whether or not he wants to hold up Mana Leak or cast Sword here. But looks like he's going to hold up Mana Leak / Moorland Haunt. So passes the turn back to Michael Peterson. Michael Peterson draws Dungeon Geist off the top to go along with his Vapor Snag and Thought Scour.
Yep, and that's going to get leaked.
And that's enough. Michael is,
wow.
yeah. Shahar Shenhar wins the first game after getting dealt 9 damage in one turn from double Rune Changer's Pike. So, these players are going to move to sideboard. We talked about a little bit about their sideboards in pregame. What do you think in Peterson's deck is probably the most important thing that he can bring in against Shahar?
And Shahar doesn't have much of an equipment package, so I mean, I think it's just the dungeon. Is it just Dungeon Geist and Phantasmal Image?
I don't even know if Dungeon Geist is that good against Shahar's deck, right? Like, what are you going to get? A Delver? Like, wouldn't you rather just kill it some other way? Doesn't get Geist to Saint Traft. Like, getting a Snapcaster Mage isn't that great. You can't get Invisible Stalker.
Players in draft number 51.
I think much more important is something like
number 51.
Oblivion Ring, maybe. Negate is definitely important in Peterson's
Right. Oh,
deck.
absolutely.
And,
Getting a Vapor Snag, for example, is kind of a big deal.
and probably playing that one Surgical Extraction is something he wants to bring in just to sort of negate the effect of a
Timely
Snapcaster.
reinforcements would be kind of a big deal here, too.
Yeah, and players you can see have a chance to look at each other's lists and figure out what they're putting in. It looks like Vapor Snag is coming out for Peterson, along with Dungeon Geist. For Shahar, it looks like he's going to board in Corrosive Gale, or a Corrosive Gale. Some other cards I couldn't quite see.
2 timely reinforcements, it looked like.
Okay. He's boarding out Gataxian Probe and a couple Mana Leaks. Maybe just Gataxian Probe. Gataxian Probe, Dismember. Looks like what Shahar's boarding out. Looks like Dissipate is coming in for Michael Peterson. Maybe.
And that's also one of the nice things about Gataxian Probe is sometimes you're just like, oh, I can take these cards out.
Yeah. So players look like they're done shuffling. Looks like Batterskull's coming in for Shahar. I'm sure that makes for great noise. But there you get a good look at Shahar, up 1 game in the finals here of Grand Prix Salt Lake City.
He has already got a Grand Prix trophy on his mantle.
Yep, from Grand Prix San Diego last year. Will he make it too? Or will Michael Peterson, also from similar areas, I believe they're both from the Bay Area.
Yeah, you see the Match Play shirt. Match Play was a famous store in
San Francisco.
Mountain View.
Mountain View?
Mountain View, yeah.
Okay.
It was briefly, at one point it was neutral ground San Francisco.
Okay.
And then when things changed, it went back to being Match Play, but it was the big game center in Mountain View.
So yeah, which of these 2 Bay Area players will be Grand Prix Salt Lake City champion? Oof. I'm sure Shahar is sweating this. He really wants that second trophy.
Yeah, he's done it before. Maybe he's like, eh. Be nice to have a second trophy.
But maybe that pressure off his back that he's been here before.
Yeah, I was just saying, don't you think the pressure is much greater if you've never performed on this stage before?
Yeah. So Shahar ready. Michael's still shuffling. And we should have Game 2 of the finals of Grand Prix Salt Lake City for you guys in just 1 moment. Don't go anywhere. Players have sideboarded, brought in their best cards.
I saw Shahar, it looked like he brought in 2 timely reinforcements.
Yep. I think he brought in a Corrosive Gale, a single one, and a Divine Offering.
Yeah, he has to bring in something to deal with the Enchanter's Pike.
Yeah. Which is so good. Okay, so players are ready for Game 2 of the finals. Michael Peterson on the play. Let's see if players keep their hands. Does not look... Okay, looks like both players are going to keep turn 1 Delver for Michael Peterson. And I see a Gut Shot hanging around Shahar's hand. I think he's going to be a little patient in casting that one. Yeah, Gut Shot. Get that guy out of here. Shahar dropping to 18 thanks to it. And he's got a turn 1 Delver of his own. But Michael Peterson has a Gut Shot of his own, so... Gut Shot, Gut Shot. Looks like sort of matching plays. here in the second game of the finals. No third land, though, it looks like, for Michael Peterson. Just a pair of Mana Leaks, a pair of Geist of St. Traphs. And Shahar's going to try just pass the turn back.
Not play Invisible Stalker. Choose to use
Thought
his
Scour.
Thought Scour instead.
Milling Delver of Secrets and another Thought Scour. Drawing for his turn, drawing Divine Offering. And he's going to try to resolve a Geist of St. Traft here, but little does he know. Mana Leak, and then maybe a Geist of St. Traft of Michael's on his turn if he draws a white source. But looks like Ponder's all he draws. He's going to cast that one. Look at the top three.
There's an island, but not a white source. There's a white source.
Island, Invisible Stalker, Glacial Fortress. He's likely going to put Glacial Fortress on top. Hold up Mana Leak mana for the next turn. And pass it back to Shahar. Shahar,
There's holding a Batter Skull.
yeah. Looks like, is he going to cast that Invisible Stalker? No, he's going to play it patiently. Pass it back, hold up Vapor Snag and Divine Offering. Doesn't want to get in trouble here. So the fourth land for Michael. And he is also going to pass it back. He wants to play it safe with Mana Leak. He knows Invisible Stalker's on the top of his deck.
Both players have Moreland Haunts that they can use their mana on. So
Right. So, I mean, Shahar's the first one that's going to be able to use it, attacks in, and now he's going to try to resolve Invisible Stalker. Michael Peterson's going to cast Snapcaster Mage, giving Mana Leak Flashback, and then likely countering the Invisible Stalker. Yep. This gives Michael Peterson a turn where Shahar's pretty much tapped out. He'll be able to resolve a Geist of St. Traft if he wants. Or even play that
give a little hexproof army if he wants.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have enough for both.
Cast Invisible Stalker and hold Mana Leak back is probably his best play. Shahar's still bottlenecked on 3 lands. Although he does add a Mana Leak to his hand, he'll get in for 1 with the Flying Spirit token. But he's not winning this race. 1 damage for 3. Likely more soon, thanks to those Geists of St. Traft. And wow, Glacial Fortress is huge here.
Yeah, because he's going to be able to back up his Geist of St. Traft with Mana Leak.
So Michael Peterson's going to get in here for 3. Geist of St. Traft is going to come on down. Shahar's going to try to Mana Leak. Will that work? Mana Leak. Michael going to Mana Leak back? No.
No, he's fine with it. He's got another one in hand. Like you said, he's winning the race.
But little does he know that Shahar can get rid of that other Geist of St. Traft with a Phantasmal Image that's in his hand. Ooh, so Shahar...
We're at the point where he's thinking about leaving that token back. Nope.
wants to be attacking.
But he also knows he has that Power Skull in hand. Like, if the game goes a little longer, he can climb back in.
Yeah, so another 3. But Shahar's going to make a token and block the Snapcaster Mage.
Feeding, in turn, Michael Peterson's Moreland Haunt.
And Shahar's going to untap, draws a Geist of St. Traft of his own. But he's likely just going to cast Phantasmal Image here, trying to destroy Michael Peterson's Geist of St. Traft. So yeah, Phantasmal Image. He's going to get Mana Leak. Shahar, he's got a Mana Leak back here, right? He can't afford to take 6 damage. But
How does he have? He doesn't have Mana Leak back,
oh, he used it last turn.
right?
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I missed. I thought he had another one.
No. He's got a Vapor Snag. And he's taking a little bit of a beating here.
He's got to block the Angel here, right? Just take 3, go to 9. He's going to Vapor Snag the Angel. And just take 3, go to 9. Peterson falls to 14.
Tempted to Mana Leak that Vapor Snag.
I don't know, but Gut Shot, which Shahar drew, is not what he wants. Mana Leak is going to take out Geist of St. Traft. Wow. Shahar has to leave that token back to block the Angel. He's going to take it. He really wants to.
Peterson is playing empty-handed at this point.
But he does have access to Moreland Haunt to keep getting 1/1 Flying Spirit tokens. So Michael untaps,
If you're available, please report to
attacks in with all of his guys. It's an angel in it to play attacking. The spirit token
Takes
will
4.
go to 5. Delver of Secrets is not what Shahar wanted to see a land. I think we're going to go to a game 3 here, Brian.
Seems fitting.
Shahar's going to try Delver of Secrets. Is that okay? And Shahar passes it back. End of turn, activate Moorland Haunt.
And we're going to see a Moorland Horn activation from Shahar as well.
Surgical Extraction drawn from Michael Peterson. Michael Peterson taking a look into Shahar's graveyard, see what he could use Surgical Extraction on.
Attacks with everybody. Going to take 3, go to 2.
And I'm pretty sure Shahar's drawing dead at this point. I can't imagine what he could have. Even Batterskull doesn't save him here. I mean, Michael Peterson just attacks with his flying creatures. Surgical Extraction, though, is going to take out some card. And Shahar just doesn't want him to let us see his deck.
Right.
Packs it up. And we're going to a game 3 here of the finals of Salt Lake City. Michael Peterson tying things up at 1 game apiece. Players go back to their sideboards, see how they can reconfigure their decks.
Do you feel like a card like Batterskull is a little cumbersome in this kind of matchup? Or, I mean, obviously, when it sticks, it's such a big deal, but like it feels like the kind of card that just sags in your hand.
That's true, but there were a couple turns in this game where if Shahar had the 5th land, he could have been able to salvage things. I don't know. Well, Shahar will end up making the decision whether or not he wants that Batterskull in. What could he be boarding in on that's better on the play for him? Maybe he wants to board out the Corrosive Gale.
But he did bring those in, right?
He brought one of them.
Okay. Are the timely reinforcements not as good on the play?
Yeah, they're probably better on the draw, right? It would have been good that game if he had timely reinforcements. Though it was likely that was just going to get Mana Leaks. I mean, Michael's hand of Mana Leak, Geist of St. Traff, once he got out of his mana issues was really good. Especially because one of his lands was Moorland Haunt.
So what have you learned about Delver this weekend?
I think that from watching Tom Martell play, so the patience that he had with his Delver deck, and sort of the patience that Shahar has, sort of the aggressive nature of using those taxing probes, going down to a low life total, waiting to the last possible moment, taking all the damage you can, and then coming back. Something that Delver players can take and help their game.
Yeah, for me, I'm not Yuya Watanabe.
You want Gitaxian
I want my Gitaxian probes. I want a sheet of paper that tells me what cards are in the person's hand, how many cards I didn't know about. I love being able to draw cards, tear through my deck.
Sure.
I like the idea that it just gives you this much smoother, efficient draw, like a turn 2 Snapcaster Mage, Gitaxian probe to keep digging if you need to. Like you're able to use your mana super efficiently.
I only have Japanese.
Okay.
That's what I've taken away so far from watching a bunch of Delver matches.
Is that Chinese?
These Delver games at least are exciting.
Same thing.
It's on
Yeah,
control mirror match.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're right.
They are certainly a series of big swings that people are taking, and if you miss on one, if there's a vapor snag,
Yep.
you really have to plan around that.
Misorder your spells. That's really important.
Oh yeah, sequencing is huge in this matchup.
I mean, also in this format, but yeah, just in Magic in general, sequencing is really important, but it makes really the difference between a good Delver player and a great Delver player. So players are drawing their opening hands for the final game of the finals of Grand Prix Salt Lake City.
Don't see a Delver from
Shahar, but he'll start things off with a Ponder. His hand is a little weak.
He's got an Invisible Stalker. Looks like he's got lands. That looks like all gas on top of his deck.
Okay.
That's a Phantasmal Image, that's a Geist of St. Traft, and that's a Thought Scour.
Sure. Michael Peterson's hand's a little slow. It's going to Ponder Surgical Extraction, Geist of St. Traft, Oblivion Ring, and just added a mana leak to it. So he'll go ahead and ponder in his first turn, set up his draws for the rest of the next couple turns. He has Snapcaster Mage, Mana Leak, and Glacial Fortress on the top that he gets to choose if he wants those. He definitely wants 2 of those cards. I don't think he wants that Glacial Fortress, so he already has plenty of land. Looks like he's going to put Snapcaster Mage on top, draw it. Mana Leak's going to come next, then finally the Glacial Fortress. And Michael Peterson passes it back to Shahar. He's got an opportunity to...
Ladies and gentlemen,
Surgical Extract your Ponders.
During your draw step.
Yeah.
Is that even good?
No, man. He doesn't play Gitaxian Probe. That information. We've established that information is very valuable for how you're going to sequence your next 4 or 5 turns. He knows he has a Mana Leak coming up.
Sure.
What am I watching out for? What do I care about?
Yeah, this looks like it's kind of like a pseudo, like you said, Gitaxian Probe from Surgical Extraction of Mike Peterson.
Players, I would also like to take a moment to thank you all, not just for coming out this weekend, but we also have had a ton of good Samaritans who have turned things.
Michael's going to write a couple things down about his hand, about Shahar's hand.
2 things. First of all,
take a good look at Shahar's deck.
So
see exactly how he boarded.
Thank you very much. And the second thing is, if you
counting
have
things
everything
up
that you came with, it is entirely possible that we have it up here inside of mid-stage. So make
and
sure to
pulls
check
out
in
the
with
ponders
us
from Shahar's
and
deck.
see whether or not we've had what you
2,
want.
3.
And gets total knowledge of his sideboard plan.
Yeah. That's why he's going back in and double checking, seeing how he boarded.
See plenty of equipment. See timely reinforcements. Another one.
Looks like no Corrosive Gales though. So maybe those came out. So Shahar will shuffle and go to his turn. That is his
He's
draw
already
step.
drawn for his turn.
Do not draw another card, Shahar. It would be devastating.
I feel like the instinct he's on it.
He's ready to battle. He wants that Invisible Stalker in play. And Michael will pass here with Mana Leak up. Shahar getting in for 1 with his Stalker.
On an 18-turn clock.
And they'll play this little game. Mana Leak up on both sides. Who wants to break first? Thought Scour at the end of Michael Peterson's turn from Shahar. Going Snapcaster, Seachrome Coast, drawing a Seachrome Coast. And still at end of turn, Peterson's just marking down what exactly Shahar's missing from his hand.
So are we going to see Snapcaster Mage Surgical Extraction on Snapcaster Mage?
Maybe. That wouldn't be such a terrible play. Sword of War and Peace drawn for Shahar. He'll crack in with that Invisible Stalker. Maybe Michael is going to do it at the end of turn. He really kind of wants to maybe remove those Mana Leaks from Shahar's deck.
That is time in the
That might be a little bit more important.
Active player, finish your turn. You have 5 additional turns to finish your match. Once again, standard open players, that is time.
Snapcaster just gets Mana Leak. He doesn't even let him
get as far as Surgical Extraction.
Yep.
4 lands for both players. Let's see. Shahar continually getting in. It's quite a few swings with the Invisible Stalker. 3, I believe. And maybe now this is Shahar's turn to try to play a threat. No. He'll just...
Another Surgical Extraction.
Another Snapcaster.
Snap Extraction.
Yep, so he'll do that and get Snapcaster Mage from Shahar. Not Mana Leak, not Thoughtscour, but Snapcaster.
Players, thank you for making
it's huge, right?
this weekend
Yeah.
such a great success. We're going to be
You know all those one-ofs that are in these decks? They're now just one-ofs.
Yeah, they're not two ofs, they're not rebuying the best ones.
Win a box in, come on up to the stage right now. We have a few spots open, but after that, Saturday registration will
Michael
be
gets another
closed.
look at Shahar's deck. Pulling out those Snapcaster Mages. There goes Tiago. And Michael Peterson has the ability to untap, and he knows Shahar's hand. He knows there's no mana leaks. Sorry. He is able to cast any of his spells without any fear this turn. He likely wants to keep mana leak up for that sort of one piece that he saw from Shahar's hand.
Really, it kind of hobbles Shahar's deck and gets Gitaxian Probe Knowledge.
Yeah. But it's likely that Michael's going to try to, with 5 lands now, resolve the Geist of St. Traft. First, he's going to deal 2 with Snapcaster Mage. And then Geist of St. Traft. Pass the turn with Mana Leak, mana up. A Geist of St. Traft of Shahar's own. And 3 mana up to pay for any Mana Leak. So Geist of St. Traft is going to take out Geist of St. Traft. Invisible Stalker is going to get in for 1. Revoke Existence in Shahar's hand, among other things.
The last draft of the evening is about to begin.
Michael draws
Please
another
come to
land.
the public mid-stage. Players
Ready
in
for
draft
2.
number 53.
Taking
He's catching up.
Taking chart down to 16.
11,
2-1,
14, 10, 12.
Yeah, I think pretty soon. Sword of War and Peace for Shahar. Mana Leak will come down for Michael. Shahar will pay. A second Mana Leak for Michael will have that sword countered.
Not a super place to be, given a double Mana Leak, but...
You know, I don't know that he...
But I guess the Mana Leaks were moving into, like, obsolete range.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Last card in Michael's hand is Oblivion Ring.
Oh, so they definitely didn't need to...
Well, I mean, Shahar does have the Revoked Existence that Michael knows about. So.
Oh, right.
So 14-11, as you said. Shahar draws a Phantasmal Image, but he's going to attack in for 1 first. Play Geist of St. Traft. Play his 7th land, say go. No sort of answer for Geist of St. Traft coming from Michael Peterson. Just Oblivion Ring and a Plains. But Shahar's also going to use Phantasmal Image.
Roberto Gonzalez, please.
I think that's one way he can have access to Snapcaster Mage.
Your event is about to start.
He's going to copy his Snapcaster Mage, and he's going to target his own Thoughtscour.
Scouring himself, milling Glacial Fortress, Geist of St. Traft, drawing Vapor Snag.
That's potentially huge.
Michael draws another land, Island
Players
plays
in standard
Oblivion
win-loss
Ring
numbers
in
1
his
to 8.
hand. Plays the island.
Players in standard
Can't
win-loss
afford to
numbers 1,
attack
please
in.
come up to the stage. Your event is about to start.
He wants to be able to block that Geist of St. Traft. But it looks like Oblivion Ring is going to take out the Snapcaster Mage, the one copied by Phantasmal Image. And Shahar goes to his turn. Draws Moorland Haunt. That's huge also. It's going to be able to spit out an army of tokens.
He gets to drop Michael to 5 this turn.
And get rid of his Snapcaster Mage. So yeah, 5 damage dealt. But Shahar's going to Vapor Snag his own Geist of St. Traft, bounce it to his hand, replay it.
And really represent lethal next turn if Michael Peterson has no answer.
And also, yeah. And if Michael Peterson does have an answer, you can start spitting out tokens. Thoughtscour for Michael Peterson, digging for some answer to that Geist of St. Traft. Milling 2, one of which is a mutagenic growth, drawing Moorland Haunt.
Moorland Haunt buys him some time.
Yeah, he'll be able to block the angel token from Geist of St. Traft.
But we know there's a Vapor Snag in his future.
Your event is about to start.
So Moorland Haunt removing Geist of St. Traft, getting a spirit token into play. Shahar draws a Vapor Snag. He uses the other one last turn.
Oh,
He's
we're
going to
using
attack in. And I think this is game.
Make a token.
Make a token, Vapor Snag that token,
You go to 4.
Deal you 5. And that's game. Shahar Shenhar is Grand Prix Salt Lake City champion. 2-time Grand Prix champion Shahar Shenhar.
Not 6 months off